What's up, everybody? Okay, so today we're going to be talking about motion design. Unreal 5.4. A beautiful thing, this. So just open up your scene. Just go to here, settings, plugins. Go to your plugins and just look up motion. Motion. And I've already got it enabled, but there it is. Motion design. Click that on, restart your engine, and you're good to go. Alright. So now inside of here, I'm just gonna inside of what is this content browser, which you can find up here, window, content browser, and you can just open 4 up. I've got all 4 here. I'm just gonna make a new level, find a place, and make a new level and call it motion or something, whatever you want. Call it Bob if you want, motion Bob. I'm gonna open up that scene, and then just say save selected, and now you've got a new scene in there. All good. From there, you can click motion design up here. Once you've got it loaded, right there, click it, and it'll open up like a motion design thingamabobby, right? Alright. Now you got a couple of controls here. Remote control, material designer, transition logic, all that kind of stuff, and you get motion tools here. See that? Motion design, and now you've got like all of these kind of things here. Boom, 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 boom. So a quick way to just start, you can see here it says create defaults. Click it on, and you get this. You get default scene route, directional lights, skylights, post-processing, and cinema camera. Okay, so you can spawn these. Bam. You don't have to spawn all of them, but you see that they're right here. Boom, 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 boom. Boom, boom, boom. Okay, so it's all good. I'm going to pull this to the side here, and let's start. Okay, so the first thing that we want is actors. Okay, from actors you can say you get a null actor, text actor, you get a lot of things, but the two that we're going to mess upon right now is cloner actor and effector actor. Okay, that's it. Meshes, you can bring in meshes as you want. Cameras, lights, you know, all that kind of stuff. 3D, 2D shapes, whatever. We'll go through these another time, but let's just get us up and running. Okay, Ari. So let's go to actors and let's say clone actor. So you can click on clone actor, and then you got to come into the screen and click it again. Bam. Okay. Now go to clone actor. Okay. And that's beautiful. There it is. It's my clone actor, Ari. And so basically you can open up the clone actor and you can see the default cube. That's the default cube that it's using, and there's the cloner. So what can you do with the cloner? I'm going to close the default scene because that's the stuff that we just set up, the camera, the whatever. This is just a quick way of bringing all of these in. You can just do them independently as well, but okay, fine. There's a nice button here that does it all for you. So what can we do, Ari? What can we do? Click on your cloner and look at that. Look at the options, Ari. Look at them. That's beautiful. Location, enabled, seed, effector. Oh, effectors. Oh, effectors. There's an effector right there. Effector actor. Cool. So that shows that we can attach effectors to here. Cool. And then it's the usual stuff. Line, grid, and all the other options, right? Why can't I move around, eh? Let me eject from the camera so I can move around. Alright, Ari, here's a quick one. If you made those cameras and you're looking out the camera, where's this bastard? Cinematic viewport, and you cannot move. Where's the camera? Click on the camera, go in here and say, where is it, Ari? Och, mensch. Hold on. And say perspective and look through this camera, and you can see I cannot move, Ari. When you create these things here, these create defaults, make sure that you've got your camera, it's locked, Ari. Unlock it, and then you can move it around. Alright, it's all good. So I'm gonna go back to my clone tool, and you can see here line, circle. I mean you can do some cool shapes, which is pretty damn cool. Where's that gone? Oh, there it is. That's beautiful. And then on top of that, you can say base count. So you can up the count numbers, and you can up the height numbers. And you can do the radius of the thing. You can do the spacing. angle. Oh, alright. Where's the spacing? Let's put it on. Let's just have a look here. Grid, and then you've got your counts. That's beautiful, and you got your spacing. Look at that, Ari. Let's not destroy everything on the first go there, Ari. So you can space things out how you want them, which is pretty cool. It's pretty cool. So I'm gonna say 1 on count Z. I'm gonna say 50 here and 50 here, Ari. Right. So that's looking beautiful. And let's get a spacing. I want a spacing a little bit closer, something like that. Let's have a look here. Let's see one that we like. Yeah, okay, something like 100. And let's put 100 on this one. And this one we don't need because there's nothing underneath, but we'll do it anyway. Right, so this is what I have. I've got everything's linked together. Alright, but nothing's moving, Ari. What's the meaning of this, Ari? What is it? Right, because we need an effector, right? So over here you get an effector, you click on the effector and you put it into your scene. First thing I'm going to do with my effector is just return it. So cloner, I'm also going to return the transformation. I'm going to return that, so it's 0, 0, 0. And the effector, same thing, Ari. I'm going to put it right there. I'm going to hit G because I hid everything. When you hit G, you can hide things. And there's my effector now. Beautiful. It's beautiful. But the rotation is wrong. I'm going to reset the rotation as well. And there we go. It's doing nothing, Harry. It's doing nothing. So, the first thing you need to do is go to your cloner and then say effector, add an array. Add one. And the reason you're adding an array, Harry, over here, I'm just going to select my effector. Alright, so now it's working. You still don't see anything. But the reason you can make as many arrays as you want is because you can do as many effectors as you want, right? So you can have as many effectors affecting this cloner, okay? So let's play with the first effector. It is attached now, right? Over here you can see the magnitude is 1. Linear, you can say how it wants to affect it. The type, it's a sphere, it's a plane, it's a box, or it's unbound affects everything, right? So let's start off with that, love. All right, let's start off with that. And how we start getting it in is the offset right here, love. You push it up and it affects everything. So let's just make it into a sphere for now, okay? A sphere, so it's only affecting that part. I'm gonna do the outer radius of the sphere a little bit bigger, all right? And the inner radius a little bit bigger. Something like that, Ari. Oh, no, I'm not going to miss it because that's the gradient, right? That's the gradient from the inner radius to the outer radius. And look at that, Ari. That's beautiful. Look at this. So you can start offsetting it how you want. Outside, inside. Right, so why is it not moving? Why is it not moving, love? Because you want to enable movement, alright? So if you go to mode, right here, mode, gives you default, target, and noise field. Click on the noise field, and now you get more options, right? Now that gets overridden. Now we're using a noise field, which is, here's the options. And now you start to see things like pan, frequency, location, strength. So now I can bring that strength up. Look, it's a noise. It's a noise, Ari. And now you can start panning the noise, right? You can start panning the noise. Look at that, Ari. I can make it go fast. Look at that. It's beautiful. Look at that. It's beautiful. And the frequency and scale. You can have the scale strength, the panning, the frequency. So the frequency you can do a lot less. Look at that. Look at that. Or you can do the frequency a lot more. Even out of a lot more. So you can get something looking like that. Look at that. It's beautiful. Now, before we continue, Ari, let's get a material on here. Let's get a new object and a material, right? Let's say we want to. Now you can use any object you make, okay? But let's say that we get a quick object. So basically, what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this. I want to get a ball, just a ball. So I'm going to go here and type in maybe ball, or sphere. Sphere, sorry, Ari. Now, you can use whatever objects you want. If you've got the object, you can use it. So I'm just going to click on static mesh and see what we've got. So I'm just going to take my static mesh. I'm going to drag it and drop it inside there, love. Okay? So once it's in there, now, check this out. In your cloner, right in your cloner, whatever mesh you drag and drop onto it is going to be part of this. So I can take this sphere, I can drag it and drop it onto my cloner, and now I've got circles and squares. Look at that. Look how cool that is. And if I'm not happy with the scale of my square, I can just select my sphere, my original sphere that I dragged and dropped there, which is now hidden. You can show it. And you can just scale that down. Look. Look at that. Look at that. So now you got two things bouncing. And I can flatten it. You can do whatever you want with this. Isn't that cool? Bring it down a little like that. Bring it up so it looks like that. I mean, it's pretty damn cool. Okay, so I'm just going to use a normal sphere. And now we've got cubes and spheres. I can also click on the cube and I can bring that down too. You can make it little. There we go, these cute little things. Anyway, I'm going to go back one and back again with this one. And let's just drag that up a little bit. Oh, it's flat, Ari. Look, it's flat. Okay, let's just make little spheres. There we go. Okay, roughly the same size. Cool. And if I want, I can take those cubes and I can delete the cubes. I can delete it, so it's just spheres. And you can add other geometry in there too. So there's a ton of stuff you can do. I still see my sphere here, over here. I'm just gonna turn off the eyeball. And that's it, man. That's really it. I can go back to the cloner. So remember, all it is just a cloner and an effector. Inside the cloner, which is cloning objects, you can put all your objects in. So your objects don't change. Now here's the weird one, okay? I've got a sphere in there, love. But if I drag I'm gonna look up emissive. Emissive. How do you spell emissive? How do you spell emissive? It's got me. I'm down. I cannot go on. Okay, it's all good. I got it. So here I've got a material instance, right? An emissive one. It's basic. It's one that comes with it. If I double click it, Ari, you can see right here. It's just an emissive material. It's basic. There we go. Color. A parameter, which I've named intensity, and go running through a multiply in there. So I can just make it brighter. I can change the color. We good. Now look at this, Harry. If I take this and I drag it onto the material, nothing happens. This bastard here is not emissive. But why, Ari? But why? I hear you asking. Alright, just to show you, it wasn't working. And then what I did is I went to arcade, the sphere geometry, and I changed that from movable to static, and it started working. Now if I go to movable, stationary, so that's probably a glitch because it didn't happen before. But basically, if you have that same kind of a thing, you can just try selecting your geometry, and if it's on movable, you can go to static, stationary, just change one of these. It started working. And then go back to movable. But what you do need to do is have the material on your actual geometry. I don't know why it doesn't work there. Maybe it does, and maybe that's just another glitch. So if I take this geometry, let's just test it, okay? Let's just test it. And if I just click on here, and I just do that, save it, let's just see. So that does seem to be working. Okay, so you can drag it in here. If it's not working, just move these around. I think it's a glitch. Okay, so basically there we go. We've got this light pattern on there, and let's take the intensity a bit down. let's also make these a lot smaller. So I'm going to click on my geometry. I'm gonna make these tiny like that. There we go. And now we can start getting some cool things, right? We can start getting some cool things. So, look at this. If I move this around, look what it does. It's beautiful. So you can take a sequencer and you can start animating this, right? You can start animating all these properties. Anyway, let's get on to some more things and then we can see. Right, so we've got that. I'm going to go to my effector again, click on it. And that's just one of these things that you can do, right? So frequency, I can bring it down again and I can get something like that. I can say sphere and I can say unbound. So it takes the whole thing into account now. I can make this go a little bit less, something like that. So location strength, I just brought that down a bit. And you can start messing with all of these kind of things, frequencies, panning, how fast you want it to pan, where you want it to pan, these, those, that, this. And then you get to forces, orientation force enabled. Now this, what this does is it tries to orientate them, it tries to orientate, see? It orientates them. Look, off, all setting up, on, and then you can start orientating them. Now look at this, Harry. If I put the force rate, basically, look what happens. They all start to move. They all start to move like little things. It's beautiful. It's beautiful. Right, let's get on to vortex. Vortex force enabled. If I click on this, it's a vortex. It starts rolling in a circle. So the more vortex I have, the more it starts to roll in a circle, Larry. The more powerful it is. That's the orient. Ugh, I'm in the wrong one. Mensch. It's not doing anything, Harry. If you want to reset it, the only way I know how to reset is click off the arrow and click back on the arrow. So yeah, you can put this alot, and there we go. That's better. That's better. Let's put in 1,000 curl noise. I'm gonna click that one off for now, and then we're gonna go on to curl noise force enabled. Bam. So look at what this does. It just gives it a weird noise. You can make it a little bit less, something like 90. Click it on, click it back off. And look, now you got some noise in there. It's beautiful. Look at that, Addy. It's lovely. Now I'm going to click that one off and attraction force. So this is pretty cool. Look at this. You can either attract it or not attract it. Look at that. Isn't that beautiful, Addy? Look at that. Start getting these weird and wonderful patterns. Look at that. You can bring it a little bit lower, click off of it, click on back, and you get a little bit slower. Now attraction force fall off, you can either repel it, or in the positive things you can bring it close. Okay, and this is pretty cool, man. Like, look at the kind of effects you can start getting now, which is awesome. Look at that, Addy. I'm gonna switch it off. Okay, I'll switch it off, and then you get gravity, right? Gravity, it just falls, right? So let's put on the attraction, right? So look at this, it's attracted. Let's put on our curl noise, boom. And let's bring this a little higher, so it's a little bit more noisy, but look at that. Look at what we can start getting. Look at this. And let's put on our vortex, the thing that brings it around in circles. Okay, let's just not so much then. Let's bring the vortex down. There we go. So look what we can start getting. Look at the kind of things we can start getting. I'm gonna go back to my cloner and I'm gonna make this like 200 and 200. Start getting a couple of these things in there, so you start getting this. Oh, look at this! Look at this kind of feel you can start getting. Whoa! Isn't that insane? It's beautiful. That's awesome, man. So you can start getting these beautiful kind of things, Addy. Then let's go back to my effector. I want my effector, and let's start bringing some of these down. Vortex amount, Let's bring that down even further. Let's take the curl noise, let's bring that down a little bit. And now the attraction strength. Let's bring it up a little. Whoop. I just want to see. Okay, so now it's goes in there quite a lot. Traction force fall off. Okay, this I'm gonna switch it on and off. And now let's bring this a little out. If it's not working, just reset your values. If you've totally messed it up, you can just reset your values here with these little arrows, okay? So now I just want to see, okay, ooh, okay, so that really kind of hones it in. If I drop this a little, play with your values, right? Play with your values. So you can start getting some really beautiful things, man. Really crazy looking things. Okay, so we got a bit of a mess here. So I'm going to switch off everything. I'm gonna keep attraction enabled so we can see what this is doing, okay? And that is going too much. Let's have a look if we can mess around with these values to get something pretty cool. So, you know, when you're starting to do this, have one open at a time. I'm gonna reset these two and see what it does. And then we can start just having a look at what these values do. So that looks like it's too much. Start just bringing it in, slowly honing it. This kind of tightens it all, right? Let me just see what. Well, okay, now that I've got them all there, let's start loosening it up. There we go. So now we're just starting to mess around with a few things, right? The one thing that I don't love is that it's going way too fast. So let's bring down localization strength, location, location strength, and let's just start seeing what we have, okay? Loosen it up a little bit more, something like that. Bring that down a little. So now we're just starting to have a little bit of fun with it, okay? Let's add in a curl noise. So that's the noise. And let's just see what it starts doing once it settles. That's probably way too much then. So let's bring the curl noise down. And you can start getting these kind of pretty cool. Just give me a sec here. Let me just see if this is working. So that's not enough. Oh no, it's fine. You can see once it starts to settle. But I mean, look at this. This is insane, right? Bring it up a little bit. Maybe leave this one down and bring this one ever so slightly up. So it gets a bit more of an attraction. That's the fall off of the attraction. And then this is the strength of your attraction. Boom, 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 boom. That's way too much. Man, oh man, but look at the things that you can start doing. It's insane. So after messing with some values, what I did was I got my cloner. I've done everything kind of like what we did before. This is one that I've made. The effector, I've got it on a sphere here. I've made it into a big sphere. And it feels like it kind of contained it a bit better. I think it didn't do much, but here's my noise field and my settings for that. And then the forces. The forces, I kind of just tweaked a little and left those on, right? So orientation. So I left the orientation force enabled. That's on my first effector, and then my second effector, which you can do easily. You can just click on cloner, go all the way to the top, and say spawn linked effector, and it makes a new effector for you right there. Okay. And then that effector, you can have as many effectors as you want on the same clone, as long as they're in here. Effectors, I've got 2 arrays. and I've got the two effectors in there. So they're both affecting this. So here's my second effector I've got in there, and what I've got on that one, love, is I have the vortex force. That's what makes it go into a spiral. I've got the these are the settings for that. I've got the curl noise force enabled, and these are the settings that I've done for that one. And I've got the attraction force enabled. So now I get this kind of a thing, which is beautiful, Ari. It's beautiful. It's just playing with your settings, messing around with your settings. But you can start getting some really wacky things. To leave Motion Designer, you can just click this button again. Once you leave it, you'll get out of it. You'll return to your thingamabobby, all good. And then you can click on your camera, which we created, and we can pilot the camera. And you can start doing cool things with that. You can start animating it. You can start doing whatever you want with it. Now, inside of here, you can just right click here and say, where is it? Cinematics, and then level sequence. Once you've created a level sequence, you can drag and drop this into here. Do I have one in here already? Let me just have a look there, Ari. Yeah, I've got it. You can just drag and drop it into your scene, and you can double click this, right? So now you've got something like this, I've got like a camera on here, and I'm moving it around, and look how cool it looks. Look how cool it looks. You can just do these really cool kind of whatever the hell you want with it. But isn't that beautiful? Look at the kind of effects you can start getting. And this is breaching the surface. This is just to get you started. We'll start getting into proper things like the spline that you can use, and a lot of different kind of things that you can use this for. I mean, it's endless. If you have an imagination, it's endless. You can have animated geometry. You can have whatever you want. You can have all these things connecting to a mesh, so it's on a mesh. You can have things flying off of a mesh or peeling off of a mesh or whatever you want. This is endless. This is absolutely endless. This is gonna be absolutely insane in Unreal Engine, and I can't wait to see where it goes. But this is incredible. Motion graphics, if you're into it, or motion design, or cool effects for your scenes or whatever. I mean, this is it, right? This is where it starts. Now we have the tools to easily do this. It's amazing. Look, this is just to get you up and running, absolute noobs, and to mess around with a couple of the attributes and whatnot. So basically, all you're doing is creating a what is it called? A thingamabobby, a cloner. This will clone your geometry, and then the effect is to affect the cloner and all your geometry. How you can put in new shapes, different whatever elements you want, you can put in there, and that's it. That's what this is. It's bloody beautiful. It's bloody beautiful. So thanks for joining me on this one. It's gonna be pretty long, isn't it? But it's just to get you in. We're gonna look a lot more on this kind of stuff, all right? Anyway, I hope this helps, guys, to just get you started in this. It's beautiful. It's amazing. Unreal 5.4 is just mind-blowing, in all honesty. There's beautiful things in here. So let's start unraveling them, seeing what we can do. Want to get onto the texture, the new texture ways of showing deformation and using nanite. And there's so many things. How to grow things using the system, like growing foliage or grass or whatever the hell you want. You can start growing things in real time. It's crazy what you can do with this motion graphics, motion design. So anyway, I hope you're good. I hope you have a wicked weekend, and thanks for joining me, and I hope this helps. Bye, guys.